Some yellow cards, a couple issued to both clubs. But other than that, a back and forth championship final so far, as we are just 1 minute into this second half of this championship final. If it stays at 0-0, or even if both teams score 1-1, as Croatia has a chance in the box now. Ball back in, shot, scores! Oscar Cordon! This game is over from Warrior Field in Waterloo, Ontario, the home of the University of Waterloo Warriors. The final whistle has been blown, and Toronto, Croatia are your 2015 Canadian Soccer League First Division champions.
Turned over though, another chance. Whiteman, the delivery, and it's a cracking strike from the Vaughan striker, and he equalizes here in the 39th minute. The leading scorer, Jarek Whiteman, adds to his tally, and that's number 18, and equalizes this match. It's 1-1. Amato, up. Can Whiteman counter? He can. Whiteman, he wins the ball. He's on a breakaway here. The strike! Into the corner it goes, and the Azzurri's leading scorer gets the equalizer once again, and it's all tied up 2-2 in the 57th minute. Jarek Whiteman with number 19 on the season and his second of the match. The Chiara now with the delivery, back post, the header back in. The Azzurri with the chance. Into the box and in the back of the net! And it's number 3 for Jarek Whiteman. The hat-trick converted, 3-2 in the 60th minute.
You're watching and listening to Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk, Footy Edition with Nicholas Fiore.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 42 and Footy Edition number 5 of Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the Oakville Blades play-by-play broadcaster and the host of Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk. And currently, I am being joined by Chris Mannella, midfielder for Atlético Ottawa in the CPL, Canadian Premier League. Chris, I know you're in Winnipeg, Manitoba right now for the kickoff of the CPL new season, obviously a little bit later than everyone wanted it to start because of COVID-19. But you got your first game, your first win, 1-0. How does it feel?
Yeah, first and foremost, thanks for having me. But secondly, yeah, obviously yesterday was a special day for all of us around the league because, you know, we're back in action after about a year. So it was a special day, and then capped off with a win just makes things kind of 10 times better.
Exactly. And obviously, you know, we're going to get, you know, and touch upon the teams you've been with and, you know, from obviously Ontario, from Toronto and how that has maneuvered to where you are today. But for Ottawa, you know, you've had this opportunity now, this chance to come back, and we're going to touch upon where and why. But was it the right move now to come back to Ottawa? The opportunity is there and play in the CPL.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, my time with the Fury was something special to me. Those 2 years that I spent, you know, I made really, really good friends that I'll have kind of for life. Even over the course of just one season, really. So when the opportunity came up that I can come back to Ottawa, you know, I took it with open arms and right away because I was super excited to see the project they were building, and I knew the opportunity was going to be good, and I knew that they were going to put together a good team. So when the opportunity came, everything kind of fell into place, and I took it right away because I wanted to be a part of it.
But it's pretty neat, though, too, isn't it, of the affiliation, obviously, with Atletico Madrid in Spain. And obviously, you guys were in Spain for a little bit before coming back to Canada. That's got to be a bit of an added bonus because not all these Canadian teams have that affiliation. I think you might be the only one in the league with, you know, a La Liga team affiliation more than anything because it's just the connections that can grow from there. That's pretty special, too.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's one of a kind, and I think it's a big draw for players to come into this league and especially come to this club. You know, I mean, we saw things in Madrid that were, you know, I never would have seen in my life. We saw the first team training ground from Atlético Madrid. We trained in top facilities, so that experience in itself is something that you know, I'll cherish. And just the backing of a club like that, you know, that they've kind of got the established whereabouts of what to do with a club, how to run a football team. And it's just easy, and they just kind of implement everything as if it's been done for 100 years, like they have been. So for me, it's obviously huge to have that backing. They supported us through and through. We had a visit from Juan Miguel Angel, which was the top dog at Atletico Madrid. So just kind of seeing that we're not only a Canadian team, but we're part of a massive family and a massive fan base behind us.
Absolutely, and that's obviously, it's really important, right? What's it like with is there any COVID restrictions now with I guess you guys being in Winnipeg and Manitoba to start off, but within the league in general for the kickoff of this season?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the health and safety measures implemented by the Manitoba government have been done to full extent. We're not allowed to leave the hotel. This is a strictly closed bubble. So we're here, we go to training on a bus and back to the hotel. All our meals are in our one team rooms. We got our masks. So it's definitely a challenge, but, something that we're used to. It's very similar to last year's bubble setup. So, the second go around is hopefully our last.
Yeah, let's pray that it is the last, because we want to get back to some sort of normal, right? Sooner rather than later, of course.
Absolutely.
With yourself though, you've had a bit of a journey, right? A few teams, and to get to where you are. Obviously, you started in Toronto, into the Toronto FC Academy. I just want to touch upon first, if you even, I know you play with Spartacus as well, but the difference between club and academy in Ontario. I don't know if you've seen it, firsthand yourself, or in general, like that you've seen from other kids, other players growing up, and maybe guys you're currently even playing with. What is the difference in your opinion? Because I asked a few Forge FC guys, Kamiaua and Chris Nanko, and they've had different takes actually on it between the club and the academy aspect within Ontario.
Yeah. All I can talk about was my experience. When I joined TFC Academy, it was very, very new. I was the first of my age group that was eligible to play a part of the academy. So everything was kind of new, and they were trying to sort everything out, and the dressing rooms and blah, blah, and all the kind of front office stuff had to be sorted, what was going to be what in the academy. And in terms of the differences between a club, at that time, TFC Academy was about 10 to 15 times more professional than any other youth academy or youth club that I'd been with. Spartacus was, yes, it was fantastic, but, we were still training at like public parks. And mind you, we were very young, we were 12 and 13. So I get it, and it's fine. And especially at that time where there was no real pathway, there was nothing established in sort of a professional environment. So moving into TFC Academy was obviously, night and day. We had our meals taken care of. The facilities were top notch, and we were part of a massive professional organization, and especially with something like MLSC backing. So of course it was going to be more professional as opposed to, an independently owned soccer club, whether it be in Toronto, North York, Vaughan, wherever it is. So of course there's major differences in terms of, financial status and stuff like that. And in terms of play, I think it's hard to differentiate because a lot of the guys that I grew up with playing club ended up funneling through the TFC Academy system. So the level was always good. If we look back on my club experience, I'm playing against guys, even still in this league, who, we all kind of played against each other. I played against Chris Nango, I played against Kwame, I played against Richie Larea. Like we all played together. Like Kyle Laren was in there, League One. Like everything was kind of intertwined. So the level was just, kept kind of pushing towards TFC Academy, but I think it was just night and day at that time, because just TFC was a professional environment. It was the first of its kind.
Yeah, I asked that because some clubs even today. I mean, I coach in the Calvin Soccer Club a couple of rep teams, under 9 boys, under 15 girls, and some of these club teams can beat the academy teams, right? And it's not always about. It's about winning at the end of the day. The young kids now, it's more about the development, of course. Yeah. But I asked that because club teams can beat academy, and then, then they think academy is just all money. But no, there is a lot of, there's a lot of skill and a lot of people go into that to go to next levels. That's
100%. And I have experience with Vaughan Soccer Club, with Carmen Asako and Patrice, like what they do at that club with like Serge DeLuca and all the guys involved at Vaughan, they do tremendous work, and when I go see their training sessions in the off season and I'm talking to all the coaches, they run it like a professional environment. And I think, kind of TFC's been that, driving force, and hey, listen, other teams can start being professional. And now I go to the Vaughan sessions, and it's, it's professional as an ever. And these kids who are, 12, 13, 14 are fantastic players, and they may necessarily be a part of TFC Academy, and it doesn't necessarily matter, and you see these guys like Patrice always kind of funnels kids to go play, get scholarships and stuff like that. And these guys end up going into the MLS draft. And, Alistair Johnson is a big one too. He's playing with Vaughan and kind of get through the NCAA. And now look at him. He's obviously flying in the MLS with the national team. So the guys at Vaughan, I use it as just because it's what I'm experienced with, do a tremendous job with kind of funneling through different pathways, giving kids different opportunities, and treating their environment like a professional environment, because it really is.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more, of course. So to all the parents out there that sometimes think academy is better, so it's not always the case.
No. You can definitely find a pathway into the professional game, especially with the CPL now. There are pathways left, right, and center for kids to turn pro in this country, and I'm really happy about that, because the opportunities weren't there, 10, 15 years ago, maybe even less, 5 years ago. So it's great to see.
Absolutely. And obviously, like we mentioned, you did start with TFC Academy, and you were kind of slowly funneling higher and higher, as you expect to be, obviously, through the ranks. Yeah. TFC III, obviously League One Ontario, people don't know, semi-professional. And then obviously that was back in 2014, 2015, 2016, Toronto FC 2 in USL, now called the USL Championship. And USL is basically, if a lot of my hockey viewers, the AHL to the NHL. The USL was, or is, the affiliate, right, to the MLS for the most part. Did you see yourself going to that next level with hopefully the first team with TFC? I mean, obviously, I imagine that you did. It didn't work out for whatever reason, of course. I mean, it led you to where you are now, which is where you're very happy with. But did you obviously want to go TFC 3, TFC 2, and eventually the first team?
Well, I did sign with the first team. I was signed to a professional contract with the first team for 3 seasons, and I just was put on loan to the second team. So, I mean, I would have liked to play more with the first team. Absolutely. I think that was a goal of mine, a goal of anyone really in the academy. And just difference of opinions or whatever it may have been. Maybe I wasn't ready. The coach didn't think I was ready, but whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. It's led me to here, and I'm very happy. But yeah, of course, in any circumstance, you want to kind of guide your way through up, and you want to play at the highest level possible. And if you didn't, you shouldn't be in this sport. So yeah, for me, it was a good experience. I learned a lot every single year. I grew a lot as a player and also as a person. So that experience is going to stay with me for the rest of my life. And I'll cherish those years, from 16 to kind of 21 or 22, being involved in TFC was obviously a huge part of who I am and will forever be.
Absolutely. Well, you're from the city too, right? So it's only natural, of course,
right?
Exactly. With TFC 2, though, obviously, like you said, being signed with the first team, obviously couldn't get that crack, couldn't get that opportunity. But then you went to Vaughan Azzurri back in League One Ontario, played your 15 apps, got more playing time, and just, found yourself a little bit more. I mean, in my opinion, if I'm allowed to say, just wanted to get the playing time, right? And get going to the next level. Yeah. Was it difficult though to go in somewhat that, even though Vaughan, yes, they are a professional mentality within League One Ontario, very much so. But was it kind of hard to go, okay, I'm playing pro, now back kind of to like semi-pro, and then back up to pro again? Was it harder for you?
No, I think that time period I was looking for a contract, a couple options that fell through in preseason. I was late into kind of the game of trying to find something after going on to preseason with the Seattle Sounders. So I was kind of late into that. And then once I didn't sign with the first team in Seattle, then I was kind of behind the 8 ball because rosters had already kind of filled up. So my time at Vaughan was more just an in-between contract kind of thing, trying to find a new thing. But every day, talking to new clubs. But for me, yeah, you kind of said it. It was more just playing time, getting fit. Carmen Sacco helped me stay as fit as I possibly could during the summer. And then I'm thankful that towards the end of that season, around September, October, I got a call from Ottawa Fury and Jules, and I was fortunate enough to go into preseason and sign with them. Absolutely.
And then obviously with Ottawa Fury, you like we mentioned, of course, the team did dissolve in 2020, 2 seasons, 59 apps with the team between 2018 and 2019. And obviously now leading you to Atlético Ottawa, I was mentioning earlier, it's like you felt like you found a home, in my opinion, with Ottawa. And you know, when you signed now with Atlético Ottawa, you mentioned as you did your, you know, your pre-press conferences and your interviews that you wanted to come back. And, you know, it wasn't just a feeling, it was like in you kind of that you want to be back there. What was so special about Ottawa the first go around with the Fury in the USL Championship that wanted you to come back into just the town and the city in general?
Yeah. I mean, it would be hard to not mention the people, because the people around the club, the people, my friends, like everything was just a perfect storm. And especially in 2019, like I said earlier, I made friends that are going to stay with me for a lifetime. So I think that in itself was obviously a big draw. But for me, I love the city. You know, it's smaller than downtown Toronto where I grew up. It's quieter, but it's just like a perfect pace for me, especially where I'm at now. My girlfriend loves the city. We kind of just found literally a second home for us. And it's just kind of everything about it. The setup at the stadium is great. The stadium is beautiful. And you know what? The fan base is very, very loyal. You know, even if we weren't necessarily succeeding at times, they still came out in waves to support us, you know, and that goes a long way. That goes a long way from a boy from Toronto who watches the Leafs, and sometimes they can be fickle.
Yeah, don't bring up the Leafs, because this household's of diehard Leaf fans, and
there you go.
let's just say some drywall might be have to be filled in after this past playoff failure once again. So brutal. We don't want to talk about that. This
we'll move on from that.
Footy. No, it's all about you, Chris.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's very, very true. Listen, moving on. Obviously, after the team dissolved, you obviously didn't want that. You became a free agent, as did everyone else. Everyone needed to find a new team. We're going to touch upon York 9 a little, but before that, in your mind, were you like, damn, again? I just got comfortable. Like, I got to find another team, who knows, even another country, if that was an option. It's like, okay, another restart.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we were kind of blindsided by the whole folding. You know, Julian de Guzman, who was like, has a special place in my heart, because he was so good to everyone at the club, not just myself. He was just a good player a good person to work under. And we had talks with him at the end of the season, and he was ready to sign me to a multi-year deal, and I was ready, as well, and I was willing. Obviously we were taken back by surprise, and then I became a free agent, but I did my due diligence kind of leading up to my free agency, and I started finding different ventures of potential, as anyone should when a contract is kind of ending its course. So I had other opportunities. I had already been in contact with York and Jimmy, potentially going to another USL club down in the States, and then a couple other Canadian Premier League teams as well, and then as well as Ottawa Fury. So I kind of had a few paths I was looking towards that could have been dealt with kind of in a moment's notice. And then, but honestly, truthfully, my initial thoughts were staying in Ottawa. That was my thought. I was ready to sign. I was ready to move there on a full-time basis, basically. And then it folded, and then I kind of had to, weigh the other options, take that one off the board, and look at my other pathways. And it led me home, which was a blessing in disguise. And I say that only because COVID was very, very much adamant. I mean, sorry, very much around, and still is, but especially in 2020 with, obviously we already know what happens, the pandemic, but and being home was huge for that, being able to be around my family. I wasn't abroad, so I wasn't have any problems going back and forth with testing and stuff like that. So it was a blessing in disguise that I came home, the pandemic happened, and I was able to be around family and friends just very, very close to me.
Absolutely. 2020, like COVID and like everyone around the world, maybe for yourself, didn't really go as planned for you with York 9. Not too many apps with them, not too many games. I believe the injury bug came into play a little bit as well. How was that mentally for you? Like, wow, my team dissolved. Now I'm going to York 9, fresh start. Let's get it going. But then the chips didn't fall into place, right? Was that mentally draining for yourself? And, or just let's rehab, let's get it going, because maybe something new can come up again?
Yeah. I mean, injuries are tough in general, regardless of pandemic, no pandemic. I think it's tough to deal with. every time you miss a training session, a game, it's a dagger to the heart. So in itself, it was tough to deal with the injury. Even more so, the fact that we only had an 8-game season, I think was the worst part of it. If you look at it from a normal season standpoint, I missed only 2.5 weeks, and that's 3/4 of the season gone. So
yeah,
so that in that sense, it was tough. But you know what, I had support system around me, from my family to the coaching staff to the managers at York. I had that support system around me. So it kind of made that whole time a lot easier. But yeah, if I'd be lying if I say it wasn't hard. I'd be lying if I saying it wasn't hard. But I got through it and kind of came up on the other end.
absolutely. As we see now in the Euro Cup and all these players representing your country, their country, and you did a little bit of that as well with the Canadian men's national team. 3 appearances, 2015. Called up for some friendlies versus Iceland, and then Canada under 23s.
Mm-hmm.
A few friendlies. Your first couple of games versus Guyana, Grenada as well.
Mm-hmm.
In any sport, in any professional environment, you want to play for your country, right?
Yeah.
And obviously for yourself, you had that opportunity a little bit. Now you can see Canada's just getting deep in general with all the guys. But for you, how important was that for yourself to get the opportunity and to play on a national stage, no matter what the circumstance was?
Yeah, that's a special moment when you put on that national team jersey and you look down and you see the Canada crest. It's super special. I remember exactly where I was and when I was around when I got the call from Morgan. Corey was the manager at the time, calling me into my first men's camp. It was super special to kind of hear that you wanted to you were picked to represent your country. So every time I put that jersey on, whether it be at the under 23 level or at the men's team, I was super happy to be a part of that organization. And now look where it is. I think we're definitely one of the best teams in CONCACAF. We obviously qualified for the Octagon, and it's something massive. And I really think we have an opportunity to make the World Cup. But for me, when I had the opportunity to captain the national team at the Pan Am Games, I think that was also really special for me, playing at home, wearing the national team jersey, and not only that, wearing the armband. So I think it was very special memories in my heart that the national team has provided me with.
Absolutely. As we're coming to an end here, I want to touch upon yourself and the team that you're with now. Personally, for you, obviously, you got your first W Saturday. It's a big one, 1-0, right? Get it under the table and get it going. For you personally, though, Chris, what do you expect for this season? Like your personal goals, and then obviously secondary, the team goals. Obviously, every team going into a season says we're winning it all, right? I mean, let's get the expectations, and you probably are going to say that. And I've looked at the roster, I've looked at the season, and there is optimism, and there's opportunities for this team this year. But personally, for you, firstly, what do you want out of yourself, other than obviously the obvious answer of staying healthy and playing every game?
Yeah. I mean, you took it out of my mouth, really. I know that's obvious. Staying healthy is first and foremost, right? No matter what. Yeah. And then for me personally, I want to play as many games as I can, no matter what it may be. In a setting like this, it's tough. There's going to be rotation involved. You have 8 games in what is 3.5 weeks, 25 days. So it's not easy. So for me, it's playing every game can. I hope to bring a few goals this season. I think that's one benchmark that I really, really want this season. I want a few goals, help the team from midfield, because if midfielders can start scoring goals and in games where you may need them, yesterday was a big example, VT scoring late, and if we can get goals from midfield and take some pressure off the strikers at times, it could be a huge help for our team. And for me, as an entire group, you did say it, like our team is deep, and we have a great roster that everyone is, Fernando, our GM, and Mista have put together in the offseason. And you watch these CPL games and you watch everything, we have a real chance at winning this thing. And I've looked at our rosters before and other teams that I've played with, and this is a very, very solid roster from front to back. And I'm really excited. I think getting that first win is really important for our mental kind of well-being and just kind of getting that out of the way. But from a team aspect, just winning as many games as we can. From a personal aspect, just playing as many games as I can.
Absolutely. I'm going to be keeping an eye on you. I want the Matteo Pessina dead fish celebration if you score your first goal with Atlético Ottawa.
I should do it.
You should, right? You should. Listen, I appreciate you coming on, of course, but lastly, I want to touch upon, without getting you in trouble. If you say you can't answer, you can't answer. But obviously, people want to, in your shoes, anyways. I mean, a '94. You're only a few years older than me, so you got some time to play still. But is the future, in the back of your mind, abroad, in Europe, in maybe a higher level than the CPL, even though the CPL is the highest level in Canada soccer in general, in club and league play? Without getting you in trouble, of course, do you have those personal aspirations of getting to some sort of higher level, or you're good where you are now, and I guess typically let's see what happens?
No, I'm not good where I am, and I don't mean any respect to that. I just mean, if you're a player in any circumstance, whether you're Messi or you're Ronaldo or you're myself, if you're satisfied with where you are, then it's never good enough, So for me, of course, you want to play in the Serie A, Premier League, La Liga, whatever it may be. Of course, you want to do, but for me, it's playing each game at a time, seeing what comes up, doing your best, and then whatever kind of happens from there. And I know that if a team in a higher league or whatever it may be, MLS, whatever, abroad, came knocking, I know that I would have a support system around me that would support me, and I'm sure that everyone around me, even probably even Fernando and Misa, want every single one of their players to push on to highest levels they can, because they know that that's representative of themselves. So, but for me, the CPL is a fantastic level. I mean, you see the players coming in and out. It's incredible. It's going nothing, nowhere but upwards. So I'm really happy and excited to be a part. But if someone said they were happy with where they were and content, then that'd be a problem.
There's always more, right, Chris? There's always more. There's always more you can give. And even though we want you here, but we want you to get out of Canada, man.
Absolutely.
Go somewhere else. TFC III, TFC II, Ottawa. Come on, York 9. We want you, bigger and better, of course, but you're good where you are now. Listen, you're wearing 6 and you're representing the 6. Come on, that's pretty good, eh? Come on.
There we go. Yeah, you caught on.
That's it, eh? Listen, Chris, I appreciate you coming on. As we mentioned before we got on, our paths have crossed more than people think. I used to do Toronto FC 2 media. I was TFC 2 season seat holder, and I remember my little girls at the time. They walked out with you guys for one of the games.
Funny.
So,
That's funny.
The paths have crossed quite a bit. I appreciate you coming on. No matter what sport or where you are, you could have said no. I know we have some connections here and there with your girlfriend, my sister, and so much others. But guys in your shoes sometimes have an ego, and they said, who is this guy just trying to come up in the broadcasting world? But you're more than willing to hop on, to have a chat, and I appreciate it. And best of luck this season, man.
I appreciate you having me, and if there's ever an opportunity to do this again, I'll be willing to.
Maybe an Instagram live coming up. Hey, how about that?
Sure.
You need the Insta followers to get up there.
I'm available.
Listen, man, once again, I appreciate it. And hey, I'm looking for that dead fish celly, eh?
Look out for it. It's coming.
That'll be amazing. I know it's for me too.
There you go.
I don't care. I don't care if your family is there or whatever. It's for me.
You can clip this if it happens.
That's it. I'm definitely gonna do that. Me. I'm a broadcaster. I have to. I have no choice.
There you go.
Listen, everybody. Chris Mannella, Atlético Ottawa, number 6 midfielder in the Canadian Premier League in the CPL, currently in Winnipeg, Manitoba, for a kickoff, and 1 victory, 3 points under him and his team's belt already. A lot of merchandise coming out for Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk. Hoodies, t-shirts, caps, maybe even some tanks this summer, some long sleeves as well. I appreciate everybody's support. I know these times are still tough, but hopefully we're getting back to normal. I'm Nicholas Fiore, the host of Mamma Mia. This is Fire Talk. Stay safe out there. Chris, thanks again.
Thank you.
Forza Italia and Mamma Mia.
Lopez turns it over, and now Cavallini with it. Cavallini finds Baker. Albanese comes out. Baker gets to it first. Around the keeper and in the back of the net. Blows the whistle. The captain, Dylan Carrero, for Woodbridge. The penalty kick. Steps up and takes it neatly so with a great, brilliant penalty kick strike into the corner. The ref blows the whistle. Whiteman steps forward, looking, and right down the middle with the strike there and the penalty kick in the 19th minute. Anything coming now, a chance for Jason Mills. He comes in, the shot on goal, Off the woodwork again. The rebound comes out. The Mills again. Shot scores! Oh my word. Number 11 with the finish. And that's Brandon Mills. Oakville looking to play long instead of building up. It's going to favor them off the second ball. A chance for the Blue Devils. Can they get anything on goal? Goes back outside looking for the offside call. It's not. Now cross back in. Back door. It's a goal! And the Blue Devils are on the door first. Push back with good defensive play from North Mississauga, and they steal it and now look at the counter. Can the Panthers go? It's 4v4. Good pace. Botello plays on the far side. They stay on side. North Miss an opportunity. They come on the break with a shot. In the back of the net it goes, and North Miss have one back. Continues with a North Mississauga free kick in midfield. An opportunity here. Shot comes in the back of the net it goes. Oh my word, what a strike. Now back kicked up in the air. One with the header. Placed down. McNamara has the opportunity. And in the back of the net it goes. Corner kick now for Oakville. It's a dangerous one. And in the back of the net again. And it's McNamara.
That was Mamma Mia! This is Fire Talk, Footy Edition with Nicholas Fiore. Thank you for watching and listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.